Hello everyone, I'm Big Cat. Starting from this lesson, we are going to make a character fashion change. The fashion change works by splitting the character skeletal mod into multiple parts, each using the same boss. The disassembled part will find its parent skeletal according to its location in the skeletal space, and then synthesize the output. In this lesson, we will create a child skeletal model of our character. Open the viewport of my character. Select Mesh and add a skeletal mesh named SKM Hair. This is used to display the character's hair. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh named SKM Underwear Top. Show the top of the character's underwear. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh. Name it SKM Underwear Bottom. This is used to show the character's underwear bottom. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh. Name it SKM Close Top. This is used to show the character's underwear. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh. Name it SKM Close Bottom. Show the character's pants. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh. Name it SKM Pole. This will show the character's bodysuit, such as a swimming suit. Select Mesh and add skeletal mesh. Name it SKM Shoes. This is used to show the character's shoes. Set the skeletal model for the hair to SKM Close Hair 01. Since the character's hair must be displayed and there is only one hair resources, it is set directly. The other skeletal models may change, so there is not need to set default values. Next, we set the initial settings for the skeletal model. Create function named init skeletal mesh. Category skeletal mesh. This is used to initialize the skeletal model associated with the character. Add a create dynamic material instance node with empty skin as the parent class. This material is the material of the character's skin. Promote the return value to a variable named skin matte reef. Category skeletal mesh. Set this material instance to the character model. Since we will need to call this skin material instance later, we have created a new instance here. The name of the slot is skin. This name is different in the model. Select the mesh component and find the model file location. Open the model. There is a slot name in the place of the skin material. This is the name used when setting the material. Close the model. Go back to my character. Add comment. Create the sequence node. Next, give control of the skeletal model except for the hair to the character master model. Call the set master pose component node. And set the mesh component to be the master component. Set the child skeletal model component. Note here that the child skeletal model must use the same skeletal as the main skeletal model to be set up this way. The hair's skeletal model is not set here because the hair's skeletal model is a separate skeletal. Add comment. Next, attach the hair skeletal model to the character's main skeletal model. Add the attach to component node. The character's main skeletal model to parent. Set the hair skeletal model to target with head slot name. This slot name is the name of the bone in the character's skeletal. Open the SKM female skeletal file. Search for head to see the skeletal with this name head. Close and go back to my character. The position, rotation, and scaling rules are all selected for keep word. Add comment. Open construction script. This function is a constructor for the blueprint, similar to the constructor in the code. This function is triggered to execute when the blueprint is created. Call here to initialize the skeletal model. Compile viewport. The hair is already moving to follow the character's animation, but the position is a bit off. Select the hair skeletal model. Set the position to -1, 4, 0.5. Compile. Save. Run the game. There are still some deviations. Fine tune again. Finally, set the hair position to 1, 1, 1. Run the game. Character here is displayed correctly. Save. That is for this lesson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next lesson. Hello everyone, I'm Big Cat. In this lesson, we are going to create the relevant date needed for the change of clothes. Create a new folder in the Data folder under Blueprint. Name it New. All enumeration files will be placed in this folder. Create a new New file named eFashionType. Define the type of fashion inside this New. Open. Create a new enumeration and name it Clothes Top. Denotes a top. New. Name it Clothes Bottom. This means pants. New. Name it whole. Indicates a bodysuit. New. Name shoes. Denotes shoes. Save as clothes. Next, create the date table for fashion. First, create the date table structure that is needed for the date table. Create the folder under Data's Table Structure folder, named Items. All the structure of the date table related to the items will be placed in this folder. Create the structure. Name it ST-Item Fashion. Open. The first attribute is name type, and the type is eFashionType. Indicates the type of the fashion. Create a new variable named name. Type test indicates the name of these clothes. New variable named icon. Type texture 2D indicates the small icon. A new variable named skeletal mesh. Type skeletal mesh object reference. Indicates which skeletal mesh file is used for these clothes. Create a new variable named static mesh of type static mesh object reference. Indicates which static mesh file is used for the clothes. Save and close. Next, create the fashion date table. Create a folder in the date table folder named Items. All item-related date tables are placed in this folder. Create the date table file and select ST-Item Fashion. Name it DT-Item Fashion. Open. Find the resources for the tops. There are 3 of them. Add a row of data. Set row name to 1. The row name indicates the number of this top. The tab is the top. Set the name to blue underwear. Underwear is the default garment and cannot be picked up, so no icon needs to be set. The skeletal model is SKM Clothes Top 01. The default garment does not need a static model. Add a row of data. Set row name to 2. The tab is top. Set the name to white vest. Set the icon to icon fashion top wet width. Select SKM close top 02 for the skeletal model. Select M close top 02 for the static model. Add a row of data. Set row name to 3. The tab is top. Set the name to retro jacket. Set the icon to icon fashion top retro jacket. The skeletal model is selected as SKM close top 03. Select M close top 03 for the static model. Find the resources for the pants. There are 3 of them. Add a row of date. Set the row name to 4. The tab is pants. Set the name to blue underpants. The default clothing does not need to have an icon set. Select SKM close bottom 01 for the skeletal model. The different clothing does not require a static model. Add a row of data. Set the row name to 5. The tab is pants. Set the name to gray jeans. Set the icon to icon fashion bottom gray jeans. Select SKM close bottom 02 for the skeletal model. Select SKM close bottom 02 for the static model. Add a row of data. Set row name to 6. Tab is pants. Set the name to retro jeans. Set the icon to icon fashion bottom retro jeans. The skeletal model is selected as SKM close bottom 03. Select M close bottom 03 for the static model. Find the resources for the bodysuit. Only one type of swimsuit. Add a row of data. Set the row name to 7. The tab is hole. Set the name to swimming. Set the icon to icon fashion hole swimming. Select SKM clothes swimsuit 01 for the skeletal model. Select M clothes swimsuit 01 for the static model. Find the resources for shoes. Only one type of shoes. Add a row of data. Set the row name to 8. The tab is shoes. Set the name to yellow shoes. Set the icon to icon fashion shoes yellow shoes. Select SKM close shoes 01 for the skeletal mesh. Select M close shoes 01 for the static model. Save and close. That is for this lesson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next lesson. Hello everyone, I'm Big Cat. In this lesson, we're going to make a replacement skeletal model feature. Open my character. Create function named replaced skeletal mesh. Tap skeletal mesh. Add input parameter named fashion tab. Tap fashion tab. Used to indicate the tab to be displayed. Add input parameter named name. Tab name used to denote the number to be replaced. In the previous lesson, we used the row name from the date table as the number. So here is the name type. Create a switch node by item type. If it's a top, set the top skeletal model. If it's a pant, set the pant skeletal model. If it's a hole, set the whole skeletal model. If it's a shoes, set the shoes skeletal model. Then get the corresponding bone model by item number. This is how you will find the corresponding skeletal model. This part of the blueprint will be reused several times later. To improve the readability of the blueprint, collapse this part of the blueprint into function. It is named getFashionDatas. Category is skeletal mesh. Go to getFashionDatas. Delete all input parameters. Add an input parameter named ID, tab name. Add an output variable named skeletal mesh. Tab skeletal mesh object reference. Connect the output node. Return to the replace skeletal mesh. If no corresponding data is found, return the empty skeletal model. Call getFashionDatas. Promote the returned skeletal model to a local variable named skm. Set up skeletal mesh. Add comment. Compile and save. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next lesson. Hello everyone, I'm Big Cat. In the last lesson, we created the replace skeletal model feature. So let's test what we did in the previous lesson for this lesson. Open event graph. Add the keyboard 1 key event response and perform the varying of the number 0 top. A number 0 won't find the close, so it means to take off the close. Add a keyboard 2 key event response to perform the varying of the number 2 top. Add a keyboard 3 key event response to perform the varying of the number 3 top. Run the game. Press the 2 key and the character wears a wet top. Press the 3 key and the character wears the retro top. Press the 1 key and the character takes off the top. Add a keyboard 4 key event response to perform the varying of the number 0 pants. Add a keyboard 5 key event response to perform the varying of the number 5 pants. Add a keyboard 6 key event response to perform the varying of the number 6 pants. Run the game. Press the 5 key and the character wears green jeans. Press the 6 key and the character wears retro jeans. Press the 4 key and the character takes off the pants. Add a keyboard 7 key event response to perform the varying of the number 0 hall. Add a keyboard 8 key event response to perform the varying of the number 7 hall. Run the game. Press the 8 key and the character wears the swimsuit. Press the 7 key and the character takes off the swimsuit. Add keyboard 9 key event response to perform wearing the number 0 shoes. Add keyboard 0 key event response to perform wearing the number 8 shoes. Run the game. Press the 0 key and the character wears the yellow shoes. Press the 9 key and the character takes off the shoes. We found that the top and pants overlap with the bodysuit during testing. Although the skeletal models in all positions are replaced according to the key pressed, the next step was to create a special bodysuit treatment for the function. Open Replace Skeletal Mesh. After replacing the top, determine if you are dressing instead of underdressing. Take off the swimsuit. Determine if you are wearing pants instead of taking them off after replacing pants. Take off the swimsuit. After replacing the bodysuit, judge if you are wearing the bodysuit instead of undressing it. Take off the top and pants. Round game. Press 2 to put on the top. Press 5 to put on the pants. Press 8 to see that the character is wearing a swimsuit and has taken off the top and pants. Press 3 to see the character wearing a top and taking off the swimsuit. Press 8 to see that the character is wearing a swimsuit and has taken off his shirt. Press 6 to see the character in pants and out of swimsuit. Add comment. Compile. Save. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next lesson. Hello everyone, I'm Big Cat. Currently, the character's skin has some parts that are transparent by default. This is because each close skeletal model doesn't fit perfectly. So there is a corresponding transparent mask for each type of clothing displayed when the clothes are on. First, let's look at the masking principle. Find the character's skin material. Open it. This opacity mask is used to see the opacity mask. With a single texture, you can see the transparent area. Of course, you can overlay multiple textures here. Some parts of the character will be transparent by default because by default. The swimsuit mask is set here. Why do you need a mask? Run the game. The default is to use a swimsuit mask. So, we will use a swimsuit as an example. Press the 8 button and wear the swimsuit. You can see that the swimsuit fits the entire character very well. What happens if you don't use the mask? Open the skin material. Set the top mask to TX empty white. Apply. Save. Run the game. At this point, the character shows full skin by default. Press the 8 key and wear the swimsuit. Look closely at the character's swimsuit and see that there are different levels of skin breakage. The character for the breakage is that the swimsuit model and the skin model are not fitting properly. If you don't use mask, you need the swimsuit to fit the skin model very well. which creates extra work for the artwork. This can be easily solved by using a mask. Restore the default use of the swimsuit mask. Apply. Save. Add the mask resource to the fashion dataable first. Open st atom fashion. New variable named mask texture. Tab texture object reference. Save. Close. Open dt atom fashion. The texture for underwear is set to tx mask underwear top 01. Texture for wet vest is set to tx mask shirt 01. Texture for retro jackets is set to tx mask fantasy top. Underpants has a texture set to tx empty white. Underpants don't need to be covered, so use this plain white texture. The texture for gray jeans is set to tx mask pants 01. The texture for retro jeans is set to tx mask fantasy bottom. The texture for the swimsuit is set to tx mask swimsuit. The texture for yellow shoes is set to tx mask boots 01. Save close. Open my characters get fashion datas. Add new output variable named mask texture. Tab texture object reference. Set the return value. Compile. Save. Next, set different skin mask based on the skeletal model you are replacing. Open the Replace Skeletal Mesh function. Promote the mask object to a local variable named mask. Set the mask object from the date table to the skin material. Run the game. Press the 2 key. Correct. Press the 3 key. Correct. Press the 5 key. Correct. Press the 6 key. Correct. Press the 8 key to find the wrong pants mask. This is because the pants mask was not removed when replacing the swimsuit. Add a new sequence node. If the current bodysuit is not empty. Set the pants mask to TX empty white. The TX empty white map is a plain white map. Use this map when a mask is not needed. Run the game. Press the 2 key. Correct. Press the 5 key. Correct. Press the 8 key. Correct. Press the 5 key and find the wrong mask for the top. This is because the swimsuit mask was not removed when the pants were replaced. Add a new sequence node. Determines if a top is being worn when not bodysuit is currently being worn. If no top is being worn, set the top mask to TX empty white. Determine if pants are worn when there is no bodysuit currently on. If no pants are worn, set the pants mask to TX empty white. Run the game. Press the 2 key. Correct. Press the 5 key. Correct. Press the 8 key. Correct. Press the 5 key. Correct. Press the 0 key and the character wears a shoes. Press the 9 key and the character's foot is missing. This is because the shoes mask was not removed when the pants were removed. Before setting the shoes mask, determine if the shoes are on at the time. If the shoes are off, set the shoes mask to TX empty white. Round game. Press the 0 key. Correct. Press the 9 key. Correct. Add comment. Compile. Save. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.